What's up, world? I'm your host, always am, and this is the podcast, Felons and Friends. Just to give you a quick introduction on who I am as your host, Amber. My name's Always Am, and it's with 2 L's because in always, I'll always be myself, despite the circumstances. This podcast is for people who might have been incarcerated, might hold the title felon. We all go through things in life, which, it could take a different turn or so, but there's always a bright side to your outcome, no matter how you look at it. I'm blessed to be here today, just to be able to give my testimony and give people a sense of hope. So if you're a felon, have family members that might be felons, even just a general listener, if you find interest in these topics, keep tuning in because there's gems that are going to be dropped. So for me, I'm a felon. I have not even a small felony conviction. A felony is a felony conviction, but there are certain, levels to which people can obtain them. You have violent crimes, family crimes, whatever. My issue was DUIs. In the state of Texas, you get, I believe, 3 DUIs and you go to state prison. You go to prison for 5 years. That's minimum. That's, if something, didn't happen, during it or whatever, you get, drinking and driving, you get caught drinking and driving 3 times. That's it. It's a wrap. You're doing some time. So for mine, I have 4 DUIs. And by the grace of God, my family, of course, being of major support in my life, which I'm blessed to say that I have, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So from me drinking and driving, under the influence, behind the wheel, it's a dangerous thing. It's a scary thing. Many people just see it as, you were just drinking, you just had some tequila shots, but, whole time, it's really a serious thing. It's a major issue, actually. So I didn't see it as such. I just kind of took it lightly where, I just got caught again, whatever. But my first DUI that I got, I was celebrating my 21st birthday. And I ended up going out to celebrate my birthday. And I turned around after a friend brought me home. Great friend brought me home. And I decided, hey, I got to go to the store to go get some milk for the morning. I wanted to make oatmeal. So went to the store, forgot to get the milk because I was intoxicated. I got tater tots instead. And on the way home, an officer pulled me over. He said, hey, you were swerving out of the lane. Like, no, I wasn't. He's like, do you know what time it is? I'm like, yeah, it's like 2:00. It was 4:00 in the morning. I was a whole 2 hours off. 4:00 in the morning, going to the store to get some milk, got tater tots, didn't accomplish the mission. So in that, it began a very, very big downward spiral in my life. I had to change my major in school, which I was a student at the time, and I had to change my major just off the simple fact that I had simply gone to jail. I was no longer to complete the program that I was in, and I had to find another route in life to go. So after spending 3.5 years in school on my last semester, completing my degree, I had to go and take a whole nother route to find myself a passion in, to be passionate about. And luckily, I ended up finding that passion in communications. So at that moment, I didn't see it. I just saw it as, oh my God, my life is over with. I can't do anything about it. There's no other options for me. But I was blessed with the opportunity to get a deferred disposition. So with a deferred disposition, just off of my general knowledge, I'm going to go back and research it some more. But just from my general experience, if you comply by all of the stipulations that they give you, your probation, if you do your community service correctly, and you stay out the clear. You just stay clear, stay in the clear. Don't stay out of it. You stay in the clear, right? You get everything it is that you need to get done. And from that, they'll dismiss it from your record. So me being the person I am, I get to like a week of being done. I'm done with all my community service hours. I've paid the state thousands of dollars, y'all. And I messed it up. The week the week of all of that going on, I decided to go out and celebrate. I finally found a new major that I could be passionate about. And I was almost done, I was almost done with my probation. On top of that, like with my degree plan, I didn't really have that many classes left to finish. I probably had like a year left. Like a year and a half, give or take. Anywho, I went out to drink with a friend. Again, not this friend, but a different friend. And I ended up getting my second DUI. With the second DUI, I then learned the people that you should have around yourself, the friends that you should consider as friends. Throughout this whole entire scenario that I've been in, I'm still in it now, coming out of it, praise God. I've learned, the family dynamics that I have to be blessed with, the community that I have around to be blessed with, to be able to support me in my endeavors, despite my faults. At the end of the day, my family, they still loved me. Even at my worst. I went through depressions. I had cut my hair at one point. Like, I was all over the place. And it's just different coping mechanisms that we have to learn to utilize for the betterment of your growth, and not to necessarily focus on the negative part at hand. Life is always going to, throw you curveballs, but it's more so of how you learn to deal with it. The friends that I had in that moment, I had to learn, real friends are going to tell you, hey, that's irresponsible. Friends are going to say, hey, you know what? If you want to do that, you're going to be on your own. I'm not going to be a part of it. And for my second DUI, I ended up going to jail on my little brother's birthday. That birthday, I believe it was like his 16th birthday. And, if you're American or whatever, I guess 16 is like, a big, it's a big thing, to be 16, you're not a teenager, so to say, quote unquote, anymore. You're getting more so into your adult life and all. It's a milestone age. And I promised my little brother that I would take him and his friends to go paintballing. So that day came around. I was in jail, y'all. I was afraid to call my parents like, yo, I'm in jail. Like, can somebody come get me? Like, I didn't even know how to explain it to them. Because at that point, I had just obtained the same charge for a previous case that I was supposed to get taken completely off of my record. So now I'm in the limbo of, dang, what's going to happen with my first case? Because now I have a second one. So, of course, my first one I had to go and do time for because I had been charged as guilty, because it's clearly something that I like to do. I clearly like to drink and drive. So with that, I had to learn, hey, you got to go ahead and take this one to the chin. You're going to have to eat this one up, because the first one and the second one, it's really no excuse for it. Even though I had caught it, in a whole different county. Counties, they communicate. So Harris County told Waller County, hey, she got another one. And they're like, oh, she got another one? Cool, I knew she would do that. And the hard part about it was, no matter how good of a person you are, no matter how good your heart can be, you have to follow the laws. And I had to learn that. The hard way. It took me some time to get over. So along with me going down that spiral, you would think, hey, this girl might need some help. She's clearly going through things, don't know how to handle it properly. I was never given those options to say, hey, you know what? There is a different way that you can cope with, the stresses and stuff of life. Life continues to go on. And I mean, life isn't going to stop for that. Your situations are going to be your situations, and everybody has their own lives going on. So it's more so to be conscious, of who you are, where you are, and the other people that you could affect. So yeah, with my second conviction, I ended up losing some friends, and it was all a blessing, I guess, in disguise, because I'm here today to share my testimony. I'm alive. I'm well about it. I have a different perception on drinking, committing, just crimes and all. My third felony conviction, I ended up getting into a car accident, and my car was totaled out completely. There was no, I ended up I don't know what happened, honestly, to be quite frank with you. I guess I can speak on it now because it's a closed case, but I don't know what happened. To be honest with you, I had drinks. I went out to a party, had drinks, decided to get behind the wheel again. That day, I maybe had like 3 or 4 shots. And going out, my drink was Crown Peach and lemonade. That's what got me. That Crown Peach and lemonade with some cherries is dangerous. So I went out and I ended up going the wrong direction going home, and I calculated it. I would have ended up like on some random bridge over water, like near the Baytown area in Houston, if I would have made it home. But instead, I ended up 40 yards off of the interstate in some grass, car totaled out completely. God put a person there to intervene for me crashing, maybe even killing myself. I don't know, maybe even other people. I don't know. It was 2:00 in the morning. I had just left a club, and they didn't serve me. I brought my own alcohol. Y'all, BYOB. Don't do that. You can't drive with open containers. It's a ticket, but still it's irresponsible because it's seen as you're drinking and driving. So even if you have open containers in your car and you're not drinking, you will get a ticket. They will breathalyze you. You might go to jail. Period, point blank. You can have an orange, some spaghetti, pizza on your breath. All of those things are considered acidic. So it could, anything could flag a breathalyzer test, honestly. Just a pro tip, if you are ever stopped, you do have the right to say no to things. You do have the right to say no. You don't have to comply with anything. If you're uncomfortable with it and you don't want to agree to it, you can say no. They will draw your blood. They will take your blood. But anywho, as I digress, I had to deal with the reality of me going off of the interstate into some random grass. I ended up hitting the guy. He ended up getting the same charge, but because they couldn't tell who was right and who was wrong, because I had those past charges on my record, they gave me another DUI. So it just goes to show, how your record can build up, even though, I had to come to terms with reality and not be so much in denial of, hey, I didn't do that. I tried to, tweak it in my head to where I wasn't really the issue. It was just something that just occurred. But it was an issue. I had totaled a car. Shout out to Toyota Camry too, man. Camrys are the safest vehicle. I will totally vouch for Camry any day. It saved my life. All the airbags were deployed. When I woke up, all I saw was white. A random man came and pulled me out of the car. He's like, hey, are you okay? I was like, no. He was like, well, were you drinking? I was like, yeah. He was like, don't tell the cops that. And what did I do? Sure enough, being drunk, telling the truth. They said, have you had any drinks tonight, ma'am? Yeah. The one thing that he told me not to say, I did. And it's a reason for it. Being in that situation, to have somebody random come and pull you out of your car it's completely scary to not know where you are, what happened. I don't know if I ended up hitting a man. In my head, I think he was getting on the interstate and he hit me getting on the interstate. But then again, his story was he was asleep on the side of the road and I hit his car. That's what it looked like, honestly. So I'm gonna go with his side of the story since he might have been a bit more aware. I don't know. We were both kind of drunk. Anywho, he chose the safer route to, pull over on the side of the road. He wasn't able to, make it home. So that's what he did. And that's really the responsible thing to do if you ever find yourself in those situations or you know that you can't make it home. First off, if you don't have any friends that are out with you, you decide to go out by yourself, you have to make responsible decisions to call an Uber. Call an Uber, call a friend to come and pick you up. If they don't come pick you up, you just know, hey, either that person isn't a friend to come and get you in the middle of the night. Maybe their phone was dead, they were asleep. Don't hold it against them too much because it's not their responsibility. But call an Uber, call a friend. If you're out with other random people or there's a bartender there, tell the bartender, hey, you know what? I think I might have had too much to drink. Be responsible about it because some people might not see it, but eventually you're going to see it. But he made the decision to, pull over, went to sleep in his car, and then boom, here I come smacking his car up, tearing up stuff. And that was my third one. At that point, you would think, hey, you should probably get some help. You keep drinking and driving, you keep drinking excessively, it's an issue. It's a problem. A lot of people don't see alcoholism as a problem because it's made legal. You can get alcohol from anywhere. You can obtain it from anywhere. People can even make their own alcohol. I don't know how they do that, but I guess, moonshining was a thing. But, there's all types of access to it, and nobody really sees it because it's socially appropriate. It's a social thing to do. It's not necessarily looked down upon until it gets to be excessive. And for those people that don't see it as a problem, or you might think that you have a problem, get some help. Talk to somebody about it. Maybe, do a little survey around, your friends and family and ask them, hey, do you think I drink too much? Or, just surprise people, try to, I guess, diet from it, fast from alcohol. It helps a lot. My mental clarity has, it's brightened a lot, actually. I see things more clear. I'm able to be that hero if somebody needs it. That's how I see it now. I'm able to be in the right frame of mind and hopefully save someone's life in the meantime. My fourth conviction, I went out again. And this time, I told myself, I'm not going to drink that much. But then, you get to a bar, you meet random people, you're having a good time. They're like, oh, let's drink some beers. Oh, let's take a shot. You don't have to buy it. You can always refuse free drinks. It's not a crime. It's a compliment to receive them, but it's not a crime to say no. You don't have to always do it. That fourth one, I ended up getting out of the car. This is the case that I'm currently in now. I'm doing 2 years probation for it. And I don't know how this all came about. Well, kind of. I can kind of give a hint or two as to why. But along with the case, I'll go further into the benefits of it, I guess. I ended up getting behind the wheel and I told myself, I can't drive, so I'm going to turn around. I called a friend to come and pick me up, to take me to my car. And she did just that. She came pick me up and she took me to my car. As a friend, if your friend calls you and say, hey, can you come pick me up, take me to my car? 9 times out of 10, they don't need to be driving. They don't know where their car is at. They don't know where their home is either. Guarantee you. So I ended up making it to my car. I called my friend and said, hey, I can't make it. I'm going to just turn around. I'm going to go to sleep. I did what the dude did. For my third one, I did what he did. Thought it was smart. But what I did, I ended up parking in a moving lane of traffic and I fell asleep. Set myself up all nice and cozy. Turned the heat on. It was kind of cold outside. Turned the heater on. Rolled my window down a little bit so I could have a breeze. Left the car running. And that was it. I was asleep in the road. And eventually the police came. And luckily enough, I was just a block away from the police station. Y'all, I didn't even have that far to go. I can laugh at it now because it's really bad, but praise God, I'm alive. A lot of people don't get to live to tell this story. So got to jail again and it was like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, this is a problem. At that point, my parents ended up taking me to a rehab facility. They said, no, you need help. Alcohol is a drug as well. They did their research as to why I was, doing all these things. At the time, I didn't really understand why I was drinking so heavily, why I was, going out partying with random people. I didn't understand it, but I'll get into that in another episode. Anywho, I ended up going to rehab and the judge called me at rehab. He said, hey, you think you're trying to get out of this slick? You got a court case that you got to deal with, ma'am, and it's a serious one. So I had to stay in rehab. I had to go to court, had to leave rehab to go to court. Most facilities, you get a 30-day period where you can't leave. There is no vacation time away. You can't just go and come as you please. You have to stay there and complete the program. So by grace, I was given a pass to go to court. It was state ordered. So, I'd like to hope that the rehab facility will stay in compliance, but they don't always have to. So got to court and the judge said, okay, well, I see that you finally, tried to find a solution to your problem. I'm going to allow you to complete the program. And I did that. And within the 4 days, within the first week of me being there, I received the most help that I ever did over the 6 years of me dealing with this issue. With me having a drinking problem, going to rehab was the best decision that my parents could have made for me, that I could have made for myself by being compliant and going. Because, of course, when they told me, hey, you need to go to rehab, I was like, I ain't no crackhead. I ain't got no addiction problem. It's just alcohol. I just drink. You don't like to drink? I see my dad drink whiskey. My mom will have a glass of wine every now and again, but they rarely drink. But for me, it was an ongoing problem. So going to rehab, committing to going to rehab and being open-minded to the idea of this is a place to help you, not to hurt you, not to bash you. Because when you're there, other people are there too dealing with their issues. Regardless of if it was them that made that decision, their family that made that decision, you are all in one community dealing with an addiction problem. So with my Fort DUI, I really feel like that's why the judge was kind of lenient with my charges, so to say. He was like, okay, you're trying to make a difference. You're trying to do something different about it. So I'll grant you that. You'll get 2 years probation. You have to serve a mandatory 10 days in jail, no excuses. And that was it. I had an ankle monitor, breathalyzers, all types of, just state materials that I had to keep on myself constantly. I still have my breathalyzer in my car. It's like, it's a good safety thing. It's a little dangerous to have in your car, honestly. But I mean, you have to do what you have to do for people that want to be, accountable for themselves. They get those just because. People that might be going through other pending, cases and stuff. It's just to state your accountability as a person that you're doing what's right at all times. Driving, not driving. To be able to drive is a privilege. It's not a, what's the word? I can't think of it. It's not like a requirement. It's not something that you just get because you can have it. It's a privilege to have a license. It's a privilege to be able to drive. And I took that part for granted. A lot of people, they can't drive. They don't have the access to drive. They don't have the means to drive. Just simple things. And I took all of those things for granted. But nonetheless, I'm here today to, just kind of give you an introduction as to who I am, what it is that I've been going through, and to give people a sense of hope that there is a way for you to get out of your situations. If you have an addiction, go to a rehab facility. If you don't have family to support you, find you a good community of friends. Find a church. Join a church. There's a lot of good people in church. Myself personally, I'm a Christian, and the community of being a part of a church, it's a great thing. Not all Christian people are stuck up, clearly. Not all Christian people will, bash you, because some people, they have that maturity to understand, hey, you go through things in life, and God gives us grace, as he's done to me plenty of times. I haven't killed anybody. I haven't injured anybody. I haven't injured myself. Financially, I'm pretty toe up. My family is too, but they still love me. We're going to get there. I'm working on, being a better person, doing better things to be able to help support my family and in the ways that they've supported me. So I say all that to say, it's a brighter side to things. I guess to wrap up the episode, I will give you a scripture, just a piece of encouragement that I used for myself. I would read this almost every other day just to give people, just to give myself that encouragement throughout the day, because life isn't going to be perfect. Every day isn't perfect. And it's John 16, and I'll read verse 33. Just verse 33. This is something that Jesus himself said. The man upstairs said it himself. It says, "These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." So all of the issues that you might be going through, all of the things that that might come your way that you don't even know why you're in the situation that you're in, it's a reason for it. But you have to be of good cheer. Be courageous. Another verse, another version of the Bible says, be courageous. So when you go out in life, don't be afraid to, keep being you, but try to be a better you. But, still be of good cheer. Have encouragement in your life. There's other people around you that need that. And you don't know what everybody else around you is going through. So be of good cheer because he's overcame it all. The world is really ours. God gave us the world for it to be ours. And it's what you do with it that makes the big difference, that makes the world go around. So, you can be good. I mean, you can be bad too. You can make it Gotham City all you want. But I mean, where's the joy in that? You always have to go through sadness, pain, depression, struggle, beat yourself up mentally. And some people in the world, they're not always going to give you that brighter side of life. So you have to make sure that, you're able to give people that sense of everything's going to be good in the world. Everything's going to be just fine. You can succeed in life. So that's it. That's my little niche for the day. So y'all stay tuned. There's more to come.